Now, bizarrely, I know many of you who watch this channel still don't believe that electric cars are going to really take over the market. However, with battery pack prices falling at their fastest pace in many years, in fact, they've fallen by over 20% in the last 12 months. A recent auction in China this week has shown a further fall to a staggering low of $61 at the pack price. We've never seen anything like this before. There's a tender yesterday, in fact, in China, and I believe 20 different companies put in their prices for this future tender. And we're talking battery storage here, the pack level. This is not just the cells. Prices are dropping at a staggering pace. What does this mean? What are the implications for cars in the future? What are the prices going to be like? Well, I can tell you now, the tipping point for the entire global car market will happen much faster than what many of you believe it will be. 2026, experts are now predicting, will be the year when gasoline and diesel-powered vehicles could be worth very little. It'll be that point where everyone realizes that their old BlackBerry phone, their old Nokia 3310 is actually a piece of shit. And remember that time? Remember when that happened? Everyone started buying smartphones and those old phones were worth nothing. Now, I'm not saying petrol-powered, diesel-powered cars are going to be worth nothing, but resale values will crash in the same way that they have in Norway. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Keep in mind, there's a convergence of technologies here. We're seeing an enormous decrease in the price of batteries, but we're also seeing an enormous improvement in those batteries. We're seeing million-mile batteries from the world's biggest battery company. Million-mile batteries from the world's biggest battery company. Their LFP, by the way. We're seeing energy density of batteries improve enormously. I mean, look at BYD's new Blade battery. Their existing one is 150 watt-hours per kilogram. The new one's 210. And BYD is saying the price of those batteries will fall by a further 15%. So the combination of cheaper batteries, and the price is falling at a faster pace than anyone predicted, with an increase in energy density, is going to make electric cars, well, they've already hit parity in China, but they're going to hit parity in terms of prices worldwide very soon. A new survey by Bloomberg NEF says that EV battery pack prices have fallen the most since 2017. Cheaper battery packs means EVs are going to become more affordable and on par with internal combustion engine vehicles outside of China. We already know in China that's already the case. But when will it happen in the West? Well, experts are predicting it will be 2026. Speeding up adoption for EVs will happen with or without governments. And the key reason for the adoption of EVs will be a combination, I think, three things. Prices falling, EV charging speeds rapidly increasing, along with obviously more chargers being installed, and range. A massive improvement in range is going to come to vehicles. Big improvements are going to come. Now, when I say massive improvement in range, massive improvement might not come for 2 or 3, 4 years, but we're going to see an improvement every single year in the range of vehicles. I mean, for example, EV that I bought, very good price, XPeng G6. I mean, 60,000 Australian dollars, right? For basically a 600 kilometer range vehicle. If you want to put 19-inch wheels on like I got. But anyway, 600 kilometer range vehicle for 60,000 Australian dollars. That's around 38,000 US dollars. Now, could you get that for a price like that last year? No, you couldn't. The same thing we can say next year and then the following year. Lithium-ion battery prices have cratered thanks to an oversupply of batteries. And I've mentioned this oversupply because remember, America is also manufacturing batteries now at a very large scale. And in fact, they've committed to more battery factories being built in the US over the next 10 years than what are going to be built in China, which is kind of crazy. Probably a bit of an overkill, but that's what's been committed to so far. Now, the addition of lower prices for the raw metals and other components used in EVs has pushed the prices down. But remember, Moore's law is also a factor here. For every doubling of production, the price generally goes down by an average of 20%. The Bloomberg NEF survey covered 343 data points encompassing electric cars, buses, and commercial vehicles. So price parity is intended to come by 2026. Now, this data is not just for Chinese car companies, because we know that Chinese car companies can already manufacture EVs at a similar price to internal combustion. But here's the thing. EVs should become cheaper to manufacture than internal combustion. And when that happens, it's game over. Widespread adoption will happen so quickly that people will be kind of annoyed. They'll be like angry. They'll be saying this, why did no one tell me this was going to happen? My car is worth half what it was worth. It's worth less than that. I have lost so much money. I've been lied to by the media. No one would tell me. And guys, I'm going to point back to this video and say, well, I tried and tried and tried. You didn't listen. If the trend we've witnessed this year continues, we could see the price parity come around 2026, so next year. I mean, it's basically 2025 already. And cheaper is the key here. So when will it be cheaper to buy an EV? Well, I think it'll be cheaper within 3 to 4 years outside of China to buy an equivalent vehicle that is powered by a battery. Now, some of the data that I'm taking this from is not just what I've mentioned to you so far. It's other stuff like this. Like, for example, if you were to have a problem with your battery and it was out of warranty, you can now get batteries on the aftermarket that are better than your original battery for like $3,000. That's cheaper than an engine. That's ridiculous, right? But those batteries are often a higher energy density. And I'm getting that, by the way, getting this data from insurance companies. I spoke to someone last night who works for an insurance company. They insure electric cars. When your warranty has run out, they'll insure them after the warranty runs out. And that includes the battery. And they're giving me the prices on their batteries. And the batteries are so insanely cheap. Currently, the average cost of a battery pack sits at $115 per kilowatt hour at the pack level. But some companies are selling them for less than $100. That is a 20% decline from 12 months ago. Prices need to drop by $15 to $100 per kilowatt hour as an industry average to hit price parity, says Bloomberg NEF. Now keep in mind, sell prices are down at $53 per kilowatt hour. So hitting a pack price of $100 per kilowatt hour, it's probably already there by the time you're even watching this video. And as I mentioned before, pack prices at the energy storage level have come down to as low as $62 per kilowatt hour based on tenders in China this week. While BNEF predicts battery pricing will drop below $100 per kilowatt hour by 2026, making packs cheaper than an internal combustion car, EVs will be cheaper in 2026 to manufacture. They say that this decline will fall rapidly to $69 per kilowatt hour by 2030. $69 per kilowatt hour by 2030. In other words, pack prices will fall from around $110 today at the pack level to $69 in 2030, in only 5 years' time. But you can imagine, energy density of batteries will have improved by then too. So battery prices are going to fall if you include the energy density increases by around about 50 to 60% between now and 2030. Meaning that yes, EVs will be much cheaper to manufacture within a pretty short period of time. Now, there's going to be some roadblocks for you guys. If you're living in America, I don't know about these numbers, right? I don't know how these numbers are going to play out for you guys in America, because you guys are basically banning anything from China. You're basically banning Chinese batteries, Chinese components, Chinese parts, and they're making the best stuff. Now, hopefully, you're able to. Ford, Tesla, and General Motors all want to build factories in the US, which I've heard they're actually begun building them, to mass manufacture lithium iron phosphate battery cells from CATL, the world's biggest battery company, and they'll do that under license. So they'll pay a small royalty fee to CATL. Now, hopefully the Trump administration doesn't cancel that. Hopefully local governments in America don't cancel that, because that would enable you guys to be able to get access to these very, very low cost, high quality batteries as well. Now, it's going to take a few years for those batteries to come into the market, but it will mean you're going to be getting the more advanced LFP batteries, advanced packs like the Shenzhen Plus battery from CATL. That will be huge, because that would mean battery pack prices will probably be lower in the US as well. In fact, much lower than what they are today. Now, as long as the governments don't kind of ruin things for all of us, what's going to play out here is this. EVs will be the mainstream car choice by 2030. Charging speeds will be ridiculously fast for almost all EVs. There'll be chargers everywhere. EVs will be cheaper than internal combustion cars, and it's going to be amazing. The air quality is going to drastically improve within years. Pollution even in the US, in places like California, has declined radically because of electric car sales. Noise will be so much lower. When you live near a highway or a freeway, you'll be able to sleep better. There's a 52% increase in heart attacks for people who live near highways and freeways. It's crazy, the numbers. There'll be so many benefits. Let me know what your thoughts are about this in the comments.